The grand ballroom of a luxury hotel in New York City shimmered beneath crystal chandeliers. Politicians, celebrities, and business elites gathered for what was supposed to be a glamorous charity gala hosted by billionaire tech mogul Victor Hale. Cameras flashed as waiters in white gloves moved silently between tables. Laughter and soft music filled the air. Near the back of the hall stood a quiet woman in a simple black uniform, Elena, one of the hotel maids temporarily assigned to assist the event staff. Beside her stood her 16-year-old son, Marcus. He wasn't supposed to be there, but Elena had no one to watch him at home. Marcus stayed close, observing everything with calm curiosity. Victor Hale stepped onto the stage, holding a glass of sparkling water. He was known not only for his wealth but also for his arrogance. That evening, he had arranged what he called a little entertainment. Behind him stood a massive steel safe, nearly 6 feet tall, its digital keypad glowing under the spotlight. "My friends," Victor announced with a smirk, "inside this safe is a contract worth $200 million. Whoever opens it in 60 seconds can claim it." The audience chuckled, assuming it was staged. After all, no ordinary person could break into a high-security vault designed by one of America's top security firms. Victor's eyes scanned the crowd until they landed on Marcus. "You there," he said loudly, pointing. "The maid's son. You look smart. Think you can do it?" Whispers spread instantly. Some guests laughed. Others shifted uncomfortably. Elena's face flushed with embarrassment. "Sir, please," she began softly, but Victor waved her off. "Come on," Victor taunted. "Let's see if talent hides in unexpected places." Marcus felt hundreds of eyes on him. For a moment, the room felt smaller. He looked at his mother, who gave him a worried but supportive nod. Marcus had spent years teaching himself about mechanical locks and digital security systems through free online courses and borrowed library books. It was his secret passion, something he dreamed might someday lift them out of poverty. Slowly, he stepped forward. The crowd parted, some amused, others skeptical. The steel safe looked enormous up close. Its polished surface reflected the bright lights and Marcus's determined expression. A digital timer was projected onto a large screen behind him. Victor leaned closer to the microphone. 60 seconds. That's all you get. Ready? Marcus nodded quietly. The timer began counting down. The ballroom fell silent except for the faint ticking sound from the speakers. Marcus examined the keypad and placed his ear gently against the metal door. He blocked out the murmurs, the judgment, the pressure. All he could hear was his own steady breathing. 30 seconds remained. Victor folded his arms confidently, clearly expecting failure. Guests whispered bets among themselves. But Marcus's hands moved carefully, thoughtfully, not randomly. He noticed subtle wear on certain keys, tiny scratches near the dial. His mind calculated patterns quickly. 15 seconds. Elena clasped her hands tightly, her heart pounding louder than the clock. Marcus adjusted the dial one final time. The room seemed frozen in suspense as the final seconds ticked away. The final seconds echoed through the grand ballroom in New York City, each tick louder than the last. Every guest leaned forward, watching Marcus's hands as they moved across the safe's keypad. The giant screen behind him flashed the countdown. 10, 9, 8. Billionaire Victor Hale crossed his arms, a confident smile returning to his face. To him, this was nothing more than entertainment, a harmless joke meant to amuse powerful guests and remind everyone of the distance between wealth and poverty. He expected the boy to fail at any moment. Marcus ignored the pressure. His fingers paused as he listened carefully, turning the dial slightly backward. He remembered something he had learned from an online lecture. Even the most advanced safes still relied on mechanical precision. Technology could hide mistakes, but it could not erase them. 7, 6, 5. A murmur spread across the crowd. Some guests began recording with their phones, expecting an embarrassing failure at the last second. Elena stood frozen near the wall, barely breathing. She feared her son would be humiliated in front of everyone, but she also saw the calm focus in his eyes, the same look he had whenever solving a difficult puzzle at home. Marcus pressed 3 final numbers. 3, 2, 1. For a fraction of a second, nothing happened. Victor chuckled softly and leaned toward the microphone. "Well, that was." Click. The sharp metallic sound cut through the room like thunder. The massive safe door unlocked and slowly swung open. Gasps erupted everywhere. Conversations stopped instantly. Glasses nearly slipped from stunned hands. The timer hit 0 at the exact moment the heavy door revealed its contents. Inside were neatly stacked folders, sealed envelopes, and a digital drive resting on a velvet platform, not piles of cash as many had expected. Victor's confident expression vanished. "That's impossible," he muttered, stepping closer. Reporters and guests rushed forward, curiosity replacing amusement. One journalist picked up a folder and quickly scanned the first page. Her eyes widened. "These are financial records," she said loudly. "Offshore accounts, hidden transfers." Whispers turned into shocked voices. The documents appeared to expose secret dealings connected to Victor's company, transactions that were never meant to be public. Victor's face turned pale. "Put that back," he snapped, but it was too late. Cameras flashed rapidly now, capturing every reaction. Marcus stepped away from the safe, calm and quiet. He hadn't opened it for money or attention, he simply accepted a challenge. He walked toward his mother, who stared at him with disbelief and pride mixed together. "You did it," Elena whispered, her voice shaking. Marcus shrugged gently. He said anyone could try. Around them, the atmosphere had completely changed. Guests who once laughed now looked at Marcus with respect. Security guards hurried across the room, unsure whether to protect the billionaire or control the growing chaos. Victor realized his attempt to humiliate a maid's son had backfired spectacularly. Instead of proving superiority, he had revealed his own secrets to the world. Marcus took his mother's hand, ready to leave the noise behind. In just 60 seconds, their lives, and Victor Hale's reputation, had changed forever. Chaos rippled through the ballroom in New York City as security guards pushed through the stunned crowd. Reporters shouted questions, cameras flashing non-stop. The glamorous charity gala had transformed into a live scandal within minutes. At the center of it all stood Victor Hale, no longer confident, no longer smiling. His sharp suit and polished appearance couldn't hide the fear rising in his eyes. He tried to grab the documents from the open safe, but journalists had already photographed every page. "These files suggest illegal offshore accounts and hidden transfers," one reporter announced loudly. "Is this tax evasion, Mr. Hale?" Victor forced a tight smile. "This is a misunderstanding. That safe was tampered with. This is sabotage." His gaze shot toward Marcus. The implication hung in the air. Marcus felt the weight of suspicion, but he didn't step back. He stood beside his mother, calm despite the tension. "You asked me to open it," he said quietly. "I didn't put anything inside." Murmurs of agreement spread among the guests. Many had witnessed Victor publicly challenge the boy. Several had recorded the entire event. Within minutes, flashing red and blue lights appeared outside the hotel's tall glass windows. Authorities had been alerted. The scandal was no longer contained within the ballroom, it was spilling into the real world. Elena gripped her son's hand. "We should go," she whispered nervously. But before they could move, a senior police officer approached Victor. "Sir, we'll need you to answer some questions regarding these documents." His tone was formal but firm. Victor's jaw tightened. "You can't possibly think this is real evidence." "That will be determined," the officer replied. The room watched in stunned silence as the billionaire who had commanded the stage just moments ago was escorted aside for questioning. The power dynamic had shifted completely. Across the hall, whispers about Marcus changed from mockery to admiration. Guests who once laughed at him now looked impressed. A technology executive stepped forward. "Son, where did you learn to handle a vault like that?" Marcus hesitated. "Online courses. Library books. I like solving systems." The executive exchanged glances with a colleague. "You have talent. Real talent." Elena's eyes filled with tears, not from embarrassment this time, but from pride. For years, she had worked long hours quietly cleaning rooms, enduring disrespect to provide her son with opportunity. Tonight, the world had finally seen his ability. News outlets began broadcasting live from outside the hotel. Headlines formed instantly. Billionaire's public challenge backfires. Teen opens safe, exposes hidden files. As the crowd slowly dispersed, Marcus and his mother stepped outside into the cool night air of New York. The noise from inside faded behind them. "Are you scared?" Elena asked softly. "A little," Marcus admitted. "But I didn't do anything wrong." She smiled. "No, you didn't." In trying to humiliate a maid's son, Victor Hale had revealed his own secrets. His arrogance had cost him control, reputation, and perhaps far more. Marcus looked up at the city skyline glowing above them. Tonight wasn't about money. It wasn't about revenge. It was about dignity, and proof that intelligence and courage don't depend on wealth. And as cameras continued flashing in the distance, one truth became clear: 60 seconds had rewritten their future forever.